Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Did It Work? Today, I am putting together a pumpkin trifle with fireball shooter recipe that was recommended by one of the Wine Divas in our group chat. And I almost forgot that I wanted to try this for our dinner tonight. So I'm not completely dressed because I'm doing this right after work and before I get dressed to go to the dinner. So you'll see me progress in clothing as it goes. So excuse my appearance right now. It does get better, I promise. So let's go ahead and get started since I am on a time crunch. I started my oven to 350. I mainly did that because it was 40 degrees when I woke up this morning in California and I have been cold, hence the sweatshirt. First thing I'm going to do is combine the white cake mix in a bowl with 3 slightly beaten eggs, the pumpkin puree, and this is just 1 15-ounce can. Sure, you're getting 100% pumpkin. I don't know if you can get some that aren't, but make sure it is 100%. Tastes better that way. Or you can be really, really good and daring in the kitchen and make your own pumpkin. I've never done it. Not for sure in the future if we will ever see a video of that, but you never know what will happen. I have 1/2 a cup of oil, 1 cup of sugar. Then I'm just gonna give this a quick mix before I get too much further into this. I do have a pumpkin bread recipe. Pumpkin bread was the only dessert for Thanksgiving that my son Matthew would eat, but I am not using this because I am using the recipe that she put in the group chat. However, there was no measurements, so I am playing with measurements and going based upon what I've had in previous experiences for those measurements. Okay, I've got that stirred up a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in the spices, of which I also took the liberty of putting some of my own spices in because it called for pumpkin pie spice. And I don't use pumpkin pie spice. I use the spices that are in the pumpkin pie mix. So I have 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves, 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, a liberal full teaspoon of cinnamon. Call it a liberal teaspoon because I let it go to a little bit of a heaping to give it a little bit extra. And then 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to give this a quick mix again. You should start to smell all of these spices and it should smell like fall. Okay, and I have 1 ingredient left that I also took the liberty to change from the recipe. They added water. Not very often do you ever see me add any type of water to a dessert. And so I decided I wasn't going to start now. So I'm adding milk. And I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of milk. And this is just the whole milk that's in my refrigerator. And then I'm going to stir this. Now, I'm not using a mixer at all. I'm just using the whisk, as you can clearly see. I am hoping that I can get a couple of the girls on film for a reaction. So fingers crossed. This would be a great recipe for Halloween party, even though Halloween's already passed, Thanksgiving party, Friendsgiving, anything come fall. I mean, it's pumpkin. Obviously, this has got to be an adult thing, so no kids. All right, I got this mixed up and I'm gonna do something that is very controversial at this point. I'm going to taste it and it has a bunch of raw eggs, so I'm not gonna taste a lot of it, but I wanna make sure this is seasoned before I bake it. This is great. I taste all those seasonings and it tastes wonderful. Next, I'm going to get my sheet pan because I want this flat so that I can cut it up in little chunks and put them in my little shot glass type dishes for this. I lined mine in parchment because I don't want to have to fight with the pan because I'm on a time crunch and I don't need to be fighting with anything. So let's go ahead and dump this in here. Ooh. Spread this around. So everybody out there that is saying, wouldn't it have been easier if you would have just cut the parchment paper to the size of the bottom of the pan? Of course it would have been. Last thing that I'm going to do, because I don't want to have air bubbles, I'm going to give this a couple of pounds to try to get all those air bubbles to come up to the surface. And as you're doing it, you're too far away, you can see the air bubbles popping. Good idea to do this with any type of cake that you make. All right. In the oven, I did not remember having a time on the recipe that I got offline, if it did oversight. So I'm going to cook it until I insert a toothpick in the center or a knife and it comes out clean. So 25-30 minutes, I'm going to check it. Bye. Okay, so I am back. The bread is out of the oven. I did not get a chance to show it to you when it came out because I was just getting out of the shower. Now we need to make the cream cheese frosting that's got to go in this. So I have 4 ounces of cream cheese that is already in here. I've got my wire whisk. I am going to whisk in 2 cups of powdered sugar. Again, the recipe that was provided to me did not have measurements, so I am using the ingredients but going off of my own measurements. So I'm going to just go ahead and start combining this. When it starts slow, because powdered sugar will go everywhere, as you can clearly see, I've had that issue already. I'll be back once I get this done. I'm going to put a dash of cinnamon. I'm going to put half of a capful of vanilla, and because it calls for it, I've got powdered sugar on me, so please excuse that. It calls for some of the Fireball, so I am just going to do 2 capfuls of the Fireball from the shots. And the reason is I don't want to put too much liquid in it because I don't want to mess up the consistency of it. But if I need to put more, then I will go ahead and put more. Then I'm going to just take my spatula and I'm going to mix it up just a little bit so that when I take my whisk into it, it's not going to instantly just fly everywhere. A little mix, as I'm going to let the mixer do what it needs to do. And then as it's mixing, I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of heavy cream. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you my consistency. This consistency, it's still too thick for me. Give it a taste, and then I'm going to continue adding either my milk. I might add a little bit more Fireball. Okay, I've got to do 2 more capfuls of Fireball. I'm good with the vanilla. 1, 2, and then the rest I'll drizzle in whipped cream. Drizzling in whipped cream. See, this is loosened up quite a bit. New tasting spoon. This is good. It's not overly sweet. You don't want it so sweet that it's overbearing. So I'm going to do 1 more drizzle of cream because I want it a little bit looser since I am putting it into the shot glasses. All right, I'm done. Now I'm going to get the excess off by slowly raising it out of the pan. And it's pretty much clean. Take this off. Give this another stir, let you see a close-up. And this is what we have. That's the consistency that I was looking for. Tastes wonderful. You have a hint of the Fireball, a hint of the cinnamon, a hint of the vanilla. Not too sweet, but sweet enough. I am going to finish being dressed. In the meantime, I'm going to stick this in the fridge. I will meet you at the tastings table where we're going to assemble. The battery in my camera was running low, and so it stopped recording. So you do not have the beginning of the assembly to the trifle, but I'm going to pick up where it left off and try my best to do a voiceover yet again because no mic. So right here, I am measuring out the bread to cut it to make the trifles. So I'm measuring out the bottom by putting imprints in the bread, and then I'll go back and cut them. To the right, you can see I already cut the top part. So now I'm actually assembling the trifles by I'm on my second layer, as you can see, by putting in that second layer of bread on there. And then after that, I am putting on my second squeeze of the icing. You can clearly see that I have the icing in a Ziploc bag, a quart Ziploc bag, and I cut a hole in the corner to make my own piping bag. If you have your piping bag, wonderful. So now I'm doing the very last layer, which is the top layer, and I'm putting it on. I am pushing down the top layer so that it's not floating over my cup, my container that I have it in. And I used wax paper to do that. I'm putting on the last dollop of icing on the top of them to make it look pretty for serving. And this is a singular one because I needed one more. So there's the bottom that I put on there. Then I'm putting in the first layer of the icing, and then the second layer, and then I'm putting on some more icing, and then the very top layer I'm putting on there, and I'm just using my fingers to push down on it because it's the last one that I'm doing. And then I am taking my bag and putting the last dollop of icing on there. That is your trifle. Now I needed to do a tasting, and I didn't want to cut into one of my trifles, so I just did a tasting with the leftover icing on the bread. No, I have no idea what I'm saying right here because I'm telling you a great story that I don't remember. So here goes the tasting. Okay, now I love this. The white cake mix brought in such a new profile to the pumpkin bread that I will always use it for now. It is very moist. You can taste the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and all the spices that were in there. And I also put in the fireball in the icing, which gives that icing a whole better kick. Love this. So, as always, love with your heart, cook with your soul. My name is Nina. I just realized my mic was off, and there's nothing I can do about that. So remember to like the recipe, subscribe to the channel, share with friends, and comment your thoughts. We are at the Wine Divas dinner, and Miss Kathy is hosting, and we're doing a taste of the pumpkin trifle fireball shot dessert thing, as Avis is clearly modeling over here. So what we do, we open the bottle.
And can we just drink it now?
No badness.
Teacher, I need help.
Once the bottle is open,
you
take it and you quickly stick it in the edge upside down and push into your dessert.
But what if I just want to drink it?
Does it matter
Yes,
which corner?
could you look at the star students, please? We have star students, and then we have the non-star students.
It's falling.
And now you can taste.
It's not pouring though. Look,
It's
that much.
I know.
If you wanted to pour more, listen to the star student Linda and pull it out a little
Mine's
bit.
gonna fall over.
What do you guys think?
Teacher, I'm struggling. It's falling.
Okay, because you didn't listen, my dear.
Was I supposed to?
Oh, look, it's just, yeah, like that, like that.
Okay, it's coming out.
Oh, see, it got plugged. Oh.
Uh-oh. Why are you?
You know what? Girlfriend, if you
got
squeeze
plugged.
that thing, it's going to let loose. I promise.
So, how
my
is it?
gosh.
It's very good.
So
Squeeze it.
good. The
This is
cinnamon
delicious.
Yeah.
and then the pumpkin.
Yummy. Uh-oh, I dropped it.
Oh my gosh, she said, oh,
Yeah.
I dropped it.
Oh, that's a big thing.
What do you think?
It's really good, except mine got stuck in my bottle.
I think the whole bottle would be an awful lot.
Yeah.
I suggest take the bottle out and drink half of it.
Yes.
That is just the way they said to do it.
I think it's a fabulous idea.
So,
can't
or
get mine
squeezing it the way Linda's
Yeah.
doing it. That is a great idea.
Yeah. Star student.
Star student.
Yes,
Well,
these
she
are
copied
my
me because I did it first.
You know what?
Star
The bad ones
students.
have more fun.
Yes.
I'm not a pumpkin person,
love
but this is really
Isn't
good.
it? So, just
This
to
is
let
a
you
lot.
know, there's actually fireball in the icing as well.
Oh, wow.
So you're
Yeah,
truly
I
trying to
drowned
fuck
mine.
with us, aren't you?
This is Avis's fault because she's the one who gave me the recipe.
Sorry.
I have got
Okay.
to show you.
I
So-
like it with a little bit, but